I also want to say good morning to people who may be listening online. I've found out over the last couple of weeks that there are people that listen online. Now, some of those are people maybe who are teaching right now that are missing this lesson. They'll come back and listen. But I also found out there's people from other churches that are listening. I didn't know that. It's humbling, and I'm grateful. But I've had someone reach out to me and say, "Hey, I just want to let you know we've been listening to your sermons and we appreciate them." So there's people who are listening online that maybe they're at other churches, or maybe they're not going to church at all. Maybe they're not even a Christian. And to those that are not Christians, if you're listening to this, or even if you're here, there may be some here who I want to profess to know everything about everybody, because I certainly don't. Maybe there's some who are listening to this and hearing this morning that aren't Christians. I want to let you know that this lesson this morning, and really I think this whole series, is just as much for you as it is for those who say, "I'm a Christian." And why do I say that? I say that because everyone wants their life to be better. Everyone wants life to be better. Christians want their life to be better, but guess what? Muslims want their lives to be better too. Jewish people want their lives to be better. Hindu people, Buddhist people want their lives to be better. But even further than that, atheists want their lives to be better. Agnostics, those who say, "I don't even know if there is a God," they want their lives to be better. And even people who, when they're filling out a form and it says, "What's your religious preference or your religious affiliation?" they check the box that says "none." Those people want their lives to be better too. We're all interested. Everyone wants their life to be better. And so I invite you, whether you're Christian or not, to stick with me on this journey, this conversation, as we talk about several things, because I'm going to try to be very, very practical. It's one thing to talk about how we think about things and how we see things in the world, but there's also something else about being very practical and giving us something that's more than just something to think about. You know, we can think about having our lives be better. We can talk about our lives being better. Or, in addition to that, if we really want our lives to be better, we can walk the walk that leads to a better life. So are you with me on that so far? Okay. It's a pretty big claim, and I know that. It's like, "Oh, David's going to tell us how to make our lives better. Like I've got it all figured out." No, I don't. But I think there are a few principles that we will all agree with, that these are things that are helpful. These are things that are good. So to start us off, though, first I want you to think about, try to visualize, get an idea in your head of something that you want. Something that you want. It can be anything. It could be $1,000. It could be tickets to the Super Bowl. It could be something else. I don't know. Something that you want. But I'm going to try to categorize this in one way and say something that you want, that having one of these things would be good, would be super cool. Having two of them would be even better. All right, so try to think about something, and while you're thinking about it, watch this video here.
Going in here, we have a treat. Do you like marshmallows?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want to have a seat? Let's get comfortable. The deal is, you can eat this marshmallow now, or you can wait until I come back and I'll give you 2 marshmallows. If you decide to change your mind, that's fine, okay?
I'm waiting.
Okay, I'm gonna push you in a little bit more. Oh. I'll be back in a few minutes.
have 2 marshmallows? Yep. Then don't eat the marshmallow.
Hey Lola, how'd you do?
Good, I was waiting.
You were waiting, good job. Here's your second marshmallow.
Thank you.
You didn't eat your marshmallow. Now, so you get another one.
That took a little bit too long.
I know, I'm sorry. Do you think your mom or dad would eat the first marshmallow, or do you think they would wait like you did?
Well, my dad would eat the first marshmallow, and my mom would patiently wait. I think my dad would do it right away. I think she would eat the marshmallow. And I think she would try the best that she could to wait. I chose to wait because patience is good.
I think Dad's got a bad rap on that video. I think Dad probably would have ate it right away, and they're probably right, because I probably I probably would have eaten it right also. So this video, if you were put in a room with one marshmallow, or maybe $100 bill, or a check for $1,000, or maybe it's tickets to a Super Bowl, or maybe, how about this, parents? Just a guaranteed 8 hours of sleep, right? Or maybe a day of being pampered at the spa. But if you waited, you would get 2 of whatever it was, if you waited. Our tolerance, our ability to sustain this period of waiting is at the essence of what patience is. See, if we know exactly how long, there's been some scientific research and stuff done. If we know exactly how long we have to wait, it's easier. You notice when she left the room, she says, "I'll be back in a few minutes." How many minutes is a few minutes? There's probably not a clock on the wall. Does she mean 2? Does she mean 3? And there's been some scientific research. If we know how long the wait's going to be, then it's easier to be patient. But frequently we don't know how long the wait is going to be. And so how long could we hold out? And this is the principle of patience. For Christians who are here with us this morning and listening to this maybe online, you might recognize this concept in a few verses in the New Testament. And it's almost always connected to love. So like 1 Corinthians 13, Brian mentioned this morning, love is patient. Galatians 5, we covered this a couple of weeks ago. The fruit of the Spirit is love, which includes joy, peace, and patience. Colossians 3 says, as God's chosen people, clothe yourselves. He says many things, but one of those he says to clothe yourself with is patience. And then Romans 12, which is one of my favorite. Love must be, some versions say sincere. I like, love must be real. And he goes on to say, be patient. That patience is part of something that is connected to love. But even if you're not a Christian, you can go to art and you can go to music. This is even before my time, but it's still a popular song, The Beatles. The Beatles sing the song, "All you need is love," right? All you need is love. And so that's a truth whether you're a Christian or not. We know that love is the answer to many things in our world. Intuitively, intellectually, we know that love is good, and love includes this principle of patience. So, what is patience besides what I've already said? Patience is the ability to endure pain over a period of time. Patience is the ability to endure pain over a period of time. We become impatient when we experience pain, and that pain can be physical pain, it might be psychological pain, but there's also kind of the social pain, and there's other things like delay. Delay is a form of pain. It's like I want something and I don't want to have to wait for it, and that delay causes us some angst and stuff. I want things to hurry up because I can't bear the pain of the delay. Whether we're waiting on a person Because sometimes it's about people, and sometimes it's situational. Maybe there's a situation that we don't know how it's going to go or how long it's going to take. Patience is active. Some people would say that patience is passive. Being patient means you're just doing nothing. But patience is choosing to act, choosing to behave in a way that is positive, as opposed to acting and behaving in a way or reacting in a way that is negative. Patience is choosing to respond in a positive way. It's a way that is better for others. Patience is a selfless response instead of a selfish response. Patience is a selfless response. We're thinking more of others instead of a selfish, what I want response. And patience is the enemy of frustration. There's an author and a psychologist, Judith Orloff. I always want to say Olaf, like the little snow clown, right? Judith Orloff, who wrote the book Emotional Freedom, and she says frustration is not the key to any door. That frustration is not the key to any door. It will not open any door that you really want to get into. And we are frustrated when things don't go the way we want them to go. Things don't transpire as quickly as we would like them to happen. And the antidote to that frustration is patience. Now, all frustration stems from a lack of understanding. All frustration stems in one way or another from a lack of understanding. When it comes to other people, so talking about relationally, there is something, there's a reason why the person is behaving the way they're behaving. We get frustrated, we get impatient. It's because we don't understand the why behind their behavior. We talked about this in our perspective series, this ladder of inference. If you weren't here, you can go back and listen to that. I think it was lesson 2 or 3, I don't remember. But this ladder of inference has to do with, this is how we make our actions. We start at the bottom and we do all these things. We collect data, we add meaning and assumptions and conclusions. We begin to adopt beliefs, and those beliefs influence our actions. Those beliefs are why I'm acting in a particular way, because I believe a certain thing. Right? I believe the building's on fire. I'm going to act in a way as if the building's on fire. Whether it actually is or not is irrelevant. And just a little side note here, if you can look this up again on your own, just Google ladder of inference. But it's a great tool too, because if you're trying to get to the bottom of why is someone behaving this way, why are they acting like this, what you do is you actually start working down the ladder. You view their actions, you see what they're doing, and maybe start asking questions. You might say, what do you believe that's causing you to act this way? That may not be the best question, but you start off asking questions to try to understand the person. There is a reason, there is some kind of belief in their mind, in their heart, as to why they are behaving that way. And so maybe it's a person that's driving slow. You're going down the road, and there's always, when you're in a hurry, when you need to get somewhere, there's always someone driving slow in front of you, right? And you might want to lean towards this being situational, but this is really a relational interaction. You and the person driving the other car, two human beings, are having a relational interaction. They may not be talking, but their interaction is happening with their cars. What you don't know, because you're frustrated because this person's not driving as fast as you think they should drive, but that person is driving at the speed they're driving for some reason. They believe something. Maybe they have nowhere to be. Maybe they've been locked up in their house for 3 or 4 days because they've been sick or a family member is sick, and this is the first time they've got out. And so they're out, they're just driving around enjoying things. They're just seeing the sun again, and look at, oh, the town is still here. And so they really have nowhere to go, so they're not in a hurry. Or maybe they do have some place to go, but they've got like 3 hours to get there, and it's only a 30-minute drive. So there's no hurry. I can just go whatever and drive down the road. Or maybe, in maybe a more extreme circumstance, maybe they've been in a car accident. Maybe a close friend or relative of theirs has been in a car accident and has been severely injured, maybe even killed. And that changes the way they perceive the road and how they act on the road. And maybe they're driving slower because they feel like it's safer. It's safer to drive slower. Whatever the reason is, you're unaware of that reason. If you were aware of it, if this was a friend of you, you go, oh, this is so-and-so, I remember her, whatever happened, maybe a year or 6 months ago, I could understand why they're driving slow. But if you don't know that, it just builds this frustration. When it comes to situations, it's still always connected to something we don't understand. Something about this recipe, I've tried this recipe and it keeps not coming out right. Maybe there's some kind of process or procedure, maybe it's something at work, and you just can't figure out why. I want this, I know what the end result is that I want, I'm just not getting it, and I don't understand why. I was directing a church camp. This is many years ago. I was directing a church camp, and I was walking by to go check on the craft people. They were having their first session of crafts, and the campers were there, and the lady that was running the crafts thing was having trouble with something, and I could tell that she was irritated. So I said, "Hey, is there something I can do?" And she looked up at me. She goes, "I'm just so frustrated. I'm trying to put this mold compound thing and mix it up together, and it just keeps setting too fast. It keeps setting really quickly. I mean, as soon as I mix it, boom, it gets hard, and I can't do anything with it. And there's campers counting on me. There's a schedule we're trying to keep, all this kind of stuff, and I'm just so frustrated." And I thought it was interesting. It really caught me how well this person classified their emotions. I think too many times we misclassify our emotions. We might say, this thing is making me mad, right? This thing is just making me angry. But it's not, this anger may be happening, but it's frustration that is causing this anger. But whatever it is, there's something we don't understand. There's something we don't fully get. Maybe it's a promotion at work. We feel like we should have gotten a promotion at work by now, and we don't know why. Or maybe it's our spouse. Maybe our spouse, there's something that I wish they would do, or maybe something I wish they would not do, right? And they keep doing or not doing whatever that thing is, and I don't understand why, and it builds up frustration, and our patience begins to wear thin. So, why is it tough to be patient? Why is patience, Brian mentioned, again, he said, I probably gave patience to the least patient person here. Why is patience so difficult for us? Well, one of the reasons is it's countercultural. It goes against our culture. We are the culture that invented fast food. And when fast food wasn't fast enough, we invented drive-thrus. And when drive-thrus weren't fast enough, we invented the double or tandem drive-thru. And when that wasn't fast enough, we developed apps to where you can order and pay for your meal before you even get there. Freak some people out at Starbucks our first week here. She went on a little Starbucks app, and she ordered her caramel macchiato, flippity-flappity, ving thing, whatever it is, right? And she ordered her coffee and paid for it on her app, and we drove over there. She gets out of the car, she walks into Starbucks, it's on the counter, she picks it up, and she turns and she walks out, and everybody's like, some lady just robbed Starbucks. Right? You can't do, who's that lady? Whose coffee was that? How come she didn't pay? What's going on? Well, it's fast. It's not, we don't want to wait. Waiting is not in our culture. We have express lanes, and we have express elevators. We have Netflix. Anybody remember Blockbuster? Who has time to go to the store and actually sift through the counters and get a movie and then carry it home, and then you put it in the VCR and found out somebody didn't rewind it? Right? I'm honestly surprised that Redbox is still in. You got to go to the store, you got to hit the little button, and then sometimes it doesn't come out, right? And to get your little DVD and take it home. Netflix, you can just get it right now online. You don't have to wait. Of course, we have the internet, puts all kinds of other information at our fingertips. Cell phones. Cell phones have given us instant communication with anyone we need to talk to. I can call my wife right now, and chances are she's not going to answer. And you think, oh my goodness, why am I paying for a cell phone? If I call my friends and my loved ones, especially my family, if I call someone in my family, they don't answer the phone, what am I paying for? Right? And we get impatient, we get frustrated. I don't know what she's doing. She might be saving somebody's life right now, but I'm like, hey, I'm calling and I can't find the chicken in the freezer. Right? That's important. whatever. Or there was the commercials. Some of them are still on. J.G. Wentworth. You remember the older commercials were, "It's my money and I want it now," right? Yeah. Or now they got the 877 cash now, right? And they sing the song and they're like in an opera and all this kind of stuff. This idea that now, instant, right now, gotta have it. That's our culture. That doesn't breed patience very well. It also, it does go against our nature. And so think about, this one might be a little more maybe challenging to think about. We have more patience with people who have more power than us. We have more patience with people who have more power. Now, we may still get frustrated with people who have more power, like this boss who hasn't given us the promotion that we think we deserve and should have gotten 6 months ago, right? But we have more patience with people who have more power than us. Like, I'm not going to pick a fight with a guy that's like 6 inches taller than me and his arms are this big around. He's like, "Roar," he has more power than I do. And so if he says, "I don't want to go there," I'll be like, "Okay, let's not go there." We'll go somewhere else. Where do you want to go? I'll just go with you, right? And we have less patience with people who have less power than us. People who have less power than us, they're these little piddly things. They're literally pipsqueak. They kind of annoy us. And when they frustrate us and bother us, we just swish them away like a little fly. Just get out of here. Leave me alone. Right? We have less patience with people who have less power than us. Those who are weaker than us. But when we are patient, regardless of any of those situations, when we are patient, we are quick to think about other people. We're quick to listen, we're slower to speak, and the end result is we're slower to become angry. That's what patience brings us. So what happens when we're not patient? A few things here. So these are good. It's like, okay, when I'm not patient, this is what's happening. This is what I'm doing to myself. This is what I'm doing to others. Number one is we forget that we're not perfect. When we are not patient, we forget that we are not perfect. We have problems. We have shortcomings. Maybe someone made a mistake and pulled out in front of you. You ever had someone make a mistake and pull out in front of you? You're like, "Oh!" You're like honk, honk, like, "Hey, you!" And you forget, I've made that mistake. I've pulled out in front of somebody. And how do I want them to respond to me? It's like, "Hey, sorry." And they go, "Oh, no, it's okay. We're all still alive. Let's go." But we forget. We forget that we are not perfect. Number two, we forget the damage that impatience can do. Solomon has been called the wisest man, maybe the wisest man that had ever lived up into his time. Solomon was a king about 3,000 years ago. And he was called, some people would say he's still the wisest man that ever did live and ever would live. But at least we know this, Solomon was a wise man. And he collected wise sayings. He collected wise sayings, and here's a couple of them that connect to this. One is, control your temper, for anger labels you a fool. Another version of this same wise saying says, don't be quick to fly off the handle. Anger boomerangs. You can spot a fool by the lumps on his head. Anger just comes back around and does something to you. Another one of Solomon's wise sayings, people with quick tempers cause trouble, but those who control their tempers, they stop a quarrel. And another version of that exact same one is, a hot-tempered person starts a fight, cool-tempered person stops them. So how do we improve on patience? Here comes the practical part. Okay, now we kind of know all the stuff about patience. We know that's this antidote to frustration. We know that we forget that we're perfect. It causes damage. All this stuff when we're not patient. But what are we going to do? How are we practically, no kidding, going to get better at patience? Because we know, again, whether you're a Christian or you're not, we know that patience is good. Our mother or our grandmother, somebody in our life told us, patience is a virtue, right? Yeah, patience is a virtue. She said it just like that, right? Patience is a virtue, and we know that. And we again, intuitively within ourselves, we know that patience is a virtue. But the way we move information from our mind to our heart, so that we internalize it, so that it really becomes part of who we are, the way we move information from our mind to our heart is through our hands and through our feet. when we put it into action, when we walk the walk, that is when patience becomes real for us. That's when we get better at it. So there's 3 things I'm going to offer you here. Number one is define your emotion. Define your emotion. Again, sometimes we would say, oh, this makes me mad or this drives me crazy. But what we really mean is I am frustrated with this situation or this person. I'm frustrated that this person doesn't drive faster. I'm frustrated that this line won't move faster. I'm frustrated, I mentioned the promotion, that I haven't got the promotion, or that my spouse or some other situation. I am frustrated. I may feel anger, I may say mad, but what's really happening is frustration. There's something going on that I don't understand the why behind it, and that frustrates me. All right? Frustration comes from a lack of understanding. And this is a big thing too. This person, especially if it's a relational situation, is not my enemy. The person who's driving slow in this lane when you're in a hurry is not your enemy. The person who's going slow in the automatic, the self-checkout line in front of you or whatever, is not your enemy. There's something going on that we don't understand, because if we did understand it, we would be patient. If we did understand it, we would not be frustrated. So number 2, and this is a big one, practice patience. If you want to get better at patience, if you want to help make the world a better place, make your life a better place, make more things in the world the way they're supposed to be, then you're going to behave in a way that's patient. And to do that, you just need to practice patience. So how are we going to do this? I actually have tips for you. So here's one way to do it. Go to Walmart on Saturday. Kyle just told me, don't go to Walmart on Saturday. Kyle works at Walmart. He's like, don't go to Walmart on Saturday. I've been there. It's a madhouse. All right, go to Walmart on Saturday, or go to the grocery store, go to some other place where the line, the line's busy or the time's busy, and go and find, when you're ready to check out, because what do? We're like, where's the shortest line? Which one's moving fastest? This one. Oh, no, this one. No, this one. Get back over here. Right? And we try to find the shortest line. Well, instead, go find the longest, most annoying, line full of the most frustrated people you can find, and go stand in that line. And purposely plan, visualize to yourself, I am going to be patient in this moment. I am going to be patient in this moment. With these people, in this line, I am going to be patient. And then while you're standing there, as maybe the checkout person, they drop the milk and everybody's like, ah. The person up there's trying to write out a check, oh no, it's 35 cents, I'm sorry. You go write another check, you're like, oh, come on. Don't you have a credit card or something? Or the person oh, I forgot, I need to go get one more can of whatever, and they're like, oh. And that's just the international sign for frustration is, right? I'm just so frustrated, come on, really? But you're standing in this line and you've already decided that you are going to be patient. And this is when you do the thing that is going to transform your world and everyone else's world. Ready? Here it comes. Hey, why don't you go ahead of me. And just let someone go ahead of you. It's going to blow their mind. It's going to blow everyone else's mind. But what's going to happen is it's going to transform the energy of that line. Because now you're happy that you've done something good. You let someone go ahead of you. That person's happy, wow, someone was nice to me in this crazy, irritating, frustrating line. And it's going to change the energy of this line. Suddenly, it's going to seem like the line's moving faster, although it's probably moving at the exact same speed it was moving before. But you've decided that you are going to be patient, and you're going to behave in a way that promotes patience and relieves frustrations for other people. So that's one way. The other is the road scenario. And these aren't the only two. I mean, you can come up with some other scenario of your own. But the road scenario. You're going somewhere, wherever you may be going, and maybe one day you wake up and you say, all right, today when I drive, if I get behind a slow person, I'm just going to stay behind them. I'm just going to stay behind them. Whatever speed they're going, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stay behind. Now, not this I'm going to stay behind them, right up against them. Your taillights are in the rearview mirror. You could basically climb out on your hood and knock on their back window and say, come on, let's move it. Right? Not that kind of following. I have those people on the highway all the time. I'm like, really? This big truck, they're going to push me off the road. But just decide. Decide beforehand that I am going to be patient today as I drive wherever it is I'm going. And if I get behind someone slow, I'll just wait. Either they'll pull off, or eventually there'll come a time to pass them, a safe time, not those times when you barely squeeze between you and two 18-wheelers and you can get ahead of them. Just say, I'm going to be patient, and decide you're going to do that. So in those cases, in those situations, and again, there's others, but just purposely decide that today, in the moment of frustration, I'm going to say, you know what, not today. Today, I'm going to be patient. Guess what? Even if I'm late to work, even if I'm late to something else I'm going to, today I'm going to be patient. And you will find that it will relieve a lot of stress. A lot of stress. Number 3 is empathize with others. Empathize with others. Sympathy says, I feel sorry for you. It's a form of pity, and it actually causes division. Empathy says, I feel sorry with you. It's a connection thing. It's a sharing thing. It says I'm with you on this. I may not understand everything that's going on, but I'm with you. Yeah, dropping the milk when there's a long line of frustrated customers and it explodes everywhere. I mean, I get that. That's frustrating. But this is not the way things are supposed to be. And so I, in my empathy for you, am going to behave and act in a way that doesn't make things worse. Instead, I'm going to behave and act in a way that makes things better. Patience is walking at someone else's slower speed for the sole sake that you may walk together. Patience is walking at someone else's slower speed so that you may walk together. Walking slow with someone is being patient. You walking slow so that you can stay with them even though you could walk faster. Walking slow with someone is patience, and you do it for the benefit of relationships. You do it for the benefit of them, and you do it for the benefit of togetherness. I could run on without you, and I could keep on going, and I could be alone. Someone said, if you want to go far, go with others. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If we want to go far in this life, we need to go with others, and that's going to involve us having patience with others. So let's close with this, just to recap. If we're going to walk the walk that makes this world a better place, that makes our lives better, and makes the lives of other people better, we're going to do these 3 things. 1, we're going to define our emotion. It's frustration. That's what's going on. Number 2, we're going to practice patience. We're going to choose to walk slower with some people in our lives as we interact with them. And number 3, we're going to have empathy. We're going to choose to feel and to connect with people in those moments of frustration. Okay? So that's the lesson on patience. And so I hope this week, the challenge, obvious, is to go out and find times to purposely practice patience. And in doing so, you're going to help God in His mission to transform this world. And even if you're not a Christian, I dare you to try it. I challenge you that you will find that your life and the life of other people around you will be better because you're exhibiting love in this one aspect through patience. All right? Let's pray and we'll be done. Lord, we thank you for blessing us. We thank you for your patience with us. We thank you that you love us, that you are interested in us, that you have empathy with us, that you walk with us in our ups and in our downs. And we pray, Lord, that we will do the same, that we will help make the world a better place by walking slowly with others. Yeah, I could go faster, but walking with others is beneficial to them, and it's also beneficial to me. Help us to be the people that you want us to be, so that we might make this world the place that it ought to be. Help us to not become frustrated, to be slow to frustration, to be quick to listen to others. Forgive us when we fall short. Forgive us when we make mistakes and goof up, because we do it all the time. And help us to be forgiving people of others. We love you. We pray that our lives honor you. And pray that our lives bless you. And it's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. All right. Thank you all.